We also have people that are online. We are recording this, so we're going to post it online. So if you get back home and you're like, hey, I want my senior patrol leader to watch this, or I want somebody else, it should be up online by the end of the week. The leader's guide, which we'll make a few references to along here, is also posted online on the summer camp page for Matterley. So if you have any questions about that along the way, that is available there. We're going to go over a good view of the week, what you want to help you make a successful week. I want to introduce myself. My name is Carl Shelton. I am the council camping director, so I have the pleasure, the responsibility of overseeing the programs. Oh, we've jumped to that. Okay. I have the responsibility of overseeing the camp operations here at Fiesta Island, Matterley, and Camp Balboa. We're very proud of our facilities and programs that we run. We know that you have a lot of choices in camps to go to. We believe that we put together a program that will serve you very well. We know that you are looking for what that important week in your summer camp, your troops year is like, because in that year, in that week, it really re-energizes your year. And the guys who come, they're going to bond. They're going to bond to each other. They're going to bond to you. And we know that scouts that go to summer camp are more likely to stay in scouting, and they are more likely to advance. This really sets the tone for your next year. So we endeavor to live up to that responsibility in everything that we do. So many of you have met Sue Beagle. She's not here, but she's the name on the team introductions. Sue is the voice on the other end of the phone, the person on the SDI camp email address. She's the person who handles all the reservations. She is a very important of our team. Melissa is also there if she is not available, but Sue is really the guru on reservations. And I would expect that all of you have probably had a couple interactions with her along the way. She's even the one who sends out the messages to be here. So, Jenny DeWitt is our camp director over here. We're excited to have her. We stole her from another camp. She has a long background in directing camps for Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and we're excited to have her. You have anything you want to add to that?
No, I'm excited to be here. This will be my second season at camp, so looking forward to having you.
How do you pronounce your last name?
DeWitt.
DeWitt.
So Chuck Fuller over here is our camp commissioner, and so he'll be from the role of the camp commissioner is he's your friend in camp. He's the one who's there to help you as a scoutmaster to be successful. All of our senior management is there to help you, but he's really meant to be your primary interface during the week when you come up and just say, hey, I got a boy who's going through something or whatever. Chuck's the guy to help you with those kinds of things, to help sort out the things and make your experience positive. So feel free to lean on him for the resources. He's also going to be in charge of our adult leader training, which I think we touch on adult leader training a little bit later. And then Jeremy Sewell is our program director, and Jeremy is on his 11th summer with us. He's held almost every level of job in camp. Where he took a hiatus last year, but we're excited that he is back with us and on the team. He'll be the one overseeing, making sure all the merit badge classes are running smoothly, and your boys are being challenged and hopefully being successful to the best of their abilities. So, you want to capture it? I'll capture it. We'll just go through a few things. You can see in here, we're going to talk about your arrival in camp, what it's like for a Sunday and a Monday check-in. We'll review the week. We'll talk about specifically Wednesdays, that's our Rugged O days, and what's different about those days. Generally the session schedule, what our merit badges are, how we handle blue cards, and then we'll go to general questions. So we share this with you mostly so you could, so when we get to check-in, you can go, oh yeah, we know we're getting to Rugged O's, but this is a small enough session, a small enough group, please. If something comes up, raise your hand, and we'll either say, we're going to get to that, or we'll say that that's a great question, we're going to answer it now. What coming to camp? Here's a basic list. We're also going to post this online. This is in the Leaders Resource Guide. What should be packed? We have 9x9 tents on platforms, in frames, with 2 cots. So every scout, we expect double occupancy, but they do not need to bring a tent. They don't need to bring a pad generally, unless it's the strung out stretchy metal. Some of you, like me, might like a little extra pad between you and that. So those of us who have a couple of years on us and don't like the bumps, bring an inflatable or something. But most of your kids are not going to want to bring any type of mattress to put on top of it. They're comfortable. T-shirts, bring a week's worth. Now, for most scouts, that's probably 2. One for all week, one put on to go home. Those of you who were our early registrations, you will get your T-shirts at check-in. We have policies. Those of you who didn't, if you register for camp, for either of our camps by the end of September 30th, you get free shirts for the number of spots that you signed up when you show up. We will actually be sending out a sheet for that, but you can tell them to count that shirt in one of the shirts they don't need to bring to camp if you're there. We will be sending a form out just on that topic. If you want to buy, if your whole troop does want to buy shirts for the summer, then you can pre-order them at a discount price. If you have added more scouts than you pre-registered for, those are still shirts you would have to buy. We sell those at a discount price. We'll ask you for sizes so we can get them all pulled for you beforehand. They'll be available at the regular price inside the trading post. If memory serves me right, the pre-sale price is $7.50 and the trading post is $10. So my business manager team is nodding into that. So we recommend the long sleeve shirts. Some of the activities absolutely require it, like ATV and things like that. They don't need it for swimming anymore, do they? Okay. Pants and or shorts. The temperature can get warm up there. It can get slightly cool in the evening, so a good choice of both. But most scouts will probably be very happy to wear shorts the entire time they're there.
You say kind of warm? We are talking about July and not.
We are talking about July. Well, considering we have troops who are joining us from Las Vegas and Arizona, they will be experiencing a much cooler, pleasant time. So a side story, Ahmed was 2 years ago, right? Ahmed was our international camp staff member. We have one every year. He came from Egypt, and he thought it was wonderfully cool the entire summer that we were up there. It's all a matter of where you're looking from. If you live here, it's going to be a warm summer. If you lived in Egypt, it'll be a very cool summer. He kept going, I'm kind of cold. I don't know what's wrong with you, but okay. Underwear and socks, a week's worth, whatever that means to them. Swim gear, sweatshirt, jacket. It can occasionally rain. We can occasionally pick up the monsoon, so bring something that will shed water is a good choice along the way. Comfortable closed-toed shoes. We do expect closed-toed shoes to be worn in camp, basically anywhere but going in the showers. That is a standard safety item. Towel, 1 or 2. I would often suggest that if they're actively swimming and they want one for showering, it doesn't hurt them to have a second towel along the way. The rest of this is pretty standard stuff. I will get down here. If they if they've got the totem, if they are taking a badge that requires a totem chip the first day they show up, please have them bring a totem chip or something from me that says, I have it, because otherwise we have to reteach that. That slows things like the wood carving merit badge and things like that. That's one of the prerequisites for that. You'll notice it says camera optional. I know most people use their phones for cameras these days. The camp does not have a specific phone policy. Whatever your troops' policy on that is what it is. We're just out of the business of trying to police fraudulent electronics. So a lot of kids are going to have their phones and doing it. We just don't take responsibility.
That's right, the connection out there is horrible.
So, reception, if you're on Verizon, you're going to get reception almost anywhere. If you're on AT&T, you'll get it some places. If you're on T-Mobile, you won't have had it for quite a while. But we do have Wi-Fi that's up there, and so at certain spots that they can get on. So, and the rest of this is in there. Yes?
Mosquitoes?
What's that?
Are there mosquitoes?
Yes.
There are some, but the trick is to sugar up your kids beforehand, and the mosquitoes will go after them instead of you.
Thanks, Herb.
Yes, there are mosquitoes. There are much worse places for mosquitoes, but there are some mosquitoes. So bringing a bug repellent is a good choice, and it'll usually be pretty good with a decent bug repellent.
Okay.
And then up by the horses there are flies. We've mostly got them under control, but let's face it, horses, flies, they go there. Are there animals in camp? Absolutely. The ones that you may want to know the most about are the mini bears, the raccoons. They're smart, and when we tell your boys don't put your food in their pack. They are very good at going into wherever they want. They will open it. Sometimes they'll use the zipper.
I was going to say they're very courteous. Last year they opened all the zippers in our camp.
Yeah. So and they're smart, because I will tell you that I was up there for another event, and I swear they worked as a team and distracted us on one side while the rear flank came in and came after our stuff. So the raccoons are honestly probably the most devious and invasive of them. You'll find mice, you'll find some squirrels. The raccoons, generally, if you don't engage them, aren't going to engage you personally. It's really, they're looking for food products that are left in packs that are unattended. I don't think we've ever had like a raccoon bite, but just know food left in something that isn't a good sealed, locked, bring a cooler that you can lock it down in or stuff like that.
They are smarter than the scouts.
They are smarter than the average scout, yes. We get a few snakes in camp, and our staff is equipped to deal with the ones that, like rattlesnakes, they don't. It's not an everyday occurrence, but probably once a week there will be somebody that will see one, and the right staff will come and deal with it and get it off. And we have not had a snake bite during summer camp in my knowledge of you haven't had one in any of your time, so he's been doing staff since '99. So the reality is they don't like the heavily impacted parts of camp, so they tend to stay away, but every now and then somebody sees them. How much money should they bring to camp? As much as they want, we'll take it all. No. There are a few activities that have some higher costs, and we'll touch on those if they're going to do, say, the gliders or things like that. It really depends on the scout. 60 to 80 is a very comfortable number. If a scout shows up with $40, he probably won't buy as many things, but he'll still have plenty of opportunity to buy stuff. Go to the trading post and such. If they're doing the arts and crafts merit badges, you go through the badges that they're picking. They will say inside of them, if you're doing basketry, this is how much a basket kit. It's going to be in this range. If you're doing wood carving, it's in this range. So if your scout takes the time, if you encourage your scout to take the time to go through and look at what those are. They'll know how much their badges are, and then, from there, it's discussion between them and their parents, how much they want to buy knives and t-shirts and slush puppies and Snickers bars, and other healthy things, but we have opportunity, and we do accept checks from the adult leaders, if you needed to come and sign up for the activity. So if you haven't prepaid for something like the glider activity, and you're coming in and you say, I need to pay you for 10 people in gliders, please do not show up with a lot of cash, and we'll lay it out. We'll take it, but we'll also give you a credit card or in the check. So, all right. And Jeremy, you want to take?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I really appreciate you guys coming out. As I said, my name is Jeremy Soule. I'm the program director. I've been around camp for a little while. 2 years ago, I was the camp director at a hiatus, and I decided to come back and do my favorite job as a program. So I'll go over the next few things. Food allergies. If you have scouts that do have food allergies, please let us know ahead of time. Our cooks are always able to accommodate whatever their needs are, whatever their needs are, but we need to know ahead of time. We've had scouts before show up the day out and go, oh, guess what, I'm gluten-free, dairy-free, everything-free, I can drink water, and that's it. And we had to struggle to accommodate them. So the more time you give us to figure out those things, the better. So please, if you have any scouts, please ask their parents about it, so we can take care of that ahead of time. Any questions on that? All right, Sunday check-in. Over the years, this has fluctuated on how we've done it. In the past couple of years, we've been able to streamline it so it's very smooth and as little pain as possible to get through it. What Sunday check-in is. If you look on our leaders guide, there is directions to the camp of how to get up to Madagoi Sky Ranch at San Isabel. Once you arrive at camp, you can start checking in as early as 9 a.m. The main check-in starts at 1. But if your scouts do need to show up earlier or you need to get here earlier, that's fine. We will have staff in camp starting at 9 a.m. to get you checked in.
But just enough staff to basically have you find your campsite. Most of our staff doesn't come on till 1. They need their 24 hours of downtime, so that they're not really on duty for the most part till 1, with the exception of a few. So if you come into camp at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, which I get, you wanted to beat the desert heat, driving across, that's great. You can just say, here's your campsite, hang out here. We're not going to move to the regular check-in stuff till after 1 o'clock.
So if you need to get there earlier, that's fine. The official check-in starts at 1 p.m. You'll go to the A-frame. We'll meet one of our staff members. Please stay with your vehicle. You do not need to get everybody out there. We'll direct you to where your campsite is at and assign you your backcountry guide. From there, they'll direct you up the hill. They'll direct you up the hill with your campsite where you'll meet your backcountry guide. There will also be staff along the road to help direct you around to where the campsites are at. Where the apron is, where the campsites are, it's a little distance. So it's just right down the street. So we'll direct you to your campsite. You'll meet your backcountry guide who will show you where your tents are at. Please use the tents that are assigned to you. And they will help you figure out which tents those are. At that point, you'll unpack your vehicle directly to the side of the road. Drivers, please stay with your vehicle because the road through there is very narrow, so we need to get vehicles cleared as quickly as possible. We don't want anyone parked there for long periods of time or start to get a bottleneck and trying to get cars around. So drivers, please stay with your trucks. Once your vehicle's unpacked, drivers will take your vehicles down to the parking lot. And once again, we have staff that will help direct you down there. From there, you'll get moved into your campsites. Your backcountry guide will make arrangements to have your medical checks done in your campsite, which is different from past years or 4 or 5 years ago, where our medical team will actually come to you to check in all your paperwork and do all your medical checks in your campsite, so you're not waiting in the 2-hour-long line that usually exists at most camps. From there, From there, your backcountry guide will also arrange, if needed, swim checks. You can do swim checks on your own, but Art's staring at me. Art, do you want to talk about this?
I can do that, absolutely. Art Sloan,
And I didn't make that, he wasn't on this list, so did it, but make the introduction. This is Art.
This is Art. He's our aquatic instructor for this upcoming summer.
So, swim checks, I can do that. Okay.
You're good.
The swim checks, there's been a policy change. You can do swim checks before camp to help streamline it. However, we want to make sure that you're all aware, Mattingly is above 3,000 feet elevation. And those scouts that can complete the swim check, the 100-yard swim at sea level, may struggle a little bit at elevation. So we're recommending that if you do swim checks before coming to camp, you add about 25% to the distance. It will simulate, to some extent, what they're going to experience. That being said, we still, on the first day, on Monday, first day of swimming and life-saving merit badge, they will still have to do some swimming. And essentially, for swimming merit badge, it's the scout swim test again. And they need to pass it to move on. If your scout struggles with it on Monday after a night of acclimation, we're probably going to recommend finding another merit badge for them and that they come to the pool at free swim time so we can work with them. We are more than happy to do that. For life-saving, they have to swim 400 yards that first day, and the requirements specifically state you don't move forward until you can do that. And again, if they can't complete it that first day, it's going to put them behind because we have a lot to cover in the 4 days that we have. Obviously, Wednesday is a whole different ballgame. So we ask, please make sure that if you do your swim checks down the hill, add enough to it so that you're confident that they're going to be confident that first day of class. Does anyone have any questions about that? Yes.
The swim checks. If we do it before we come to camp, what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks?
Within 2 weeks, and there's a form. You need to find a BSA lifeguard or Red Cross lifeguard who will sign off that they completed the test, and it must be completed as it is listed in the scout requirements. No
You
more.
have to do them?
If you're going to use the, if you're going to do anything aquatic, yes, you need to do.
As an adult, is that your question?
Right.
Yes, yes. If you're
So
going to do anything
we're
aquatic,
not planning on doing
you're not
aquatics.
going to go in the pool, you're not going to go out canoeing,
Cool.
no. No, but,
They don't want me in the water every day.
not going there.
I know.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions on swim checks? If your troop shows up and has already done that and has the prepared form done by BSA lifeguard or Red Cross lifeguard, you'll end up skipping that step. But for anyone who does need to do the swim checks, your backcountry guide will make arrangements for a set time. He'll come by the pool to do that swim check. Once again, that is for anyone. That's from scouts to adult leader, even me. I've actually opted out of it the past couple years because I usually don't have time to go swimming. So.
What's a Kibos? What was on that?
Oh, Kairos.
Kairos.
Here, I'll do campsites real fast. In your campsites, we are providing tents. It's a 2-man tent that's on a raised platform. It's a normal Boy Scout tent, the big apron ones. Inside will be 2 cots, one for each scout or parent. There's a kaiba, which is a restroom. It's basically a pit toilet. And there's also water provided in each campsite as well as snacks. So you have a basic patrol site set up for all your needs.
Yeah, the average troop site will have tents grouped in 4 by light patrol with a table near it. We do our best, but of course it fluctuates on every troop size, it's different, to have enough patrol sites for all your boys to be basically 4 tents tents with a table for them as a patrol, and then 2 leader tents, more if we need it, that are kind of just outside, central to the rest of them. Now, if you're showing up at the troop with 6 people total, you may just be in a patrol site, and you may be sharing it with 2 other troops that also brought 6. Yes?
Do the campsites include a flagpole?
Every troop site has a flagpole, so if you're a big enough troop that you are just taking that site on your own, yeah, you'll have a flagpole to yourself. If you're sharing it with several other troops, then there's 1 flagpole that the group shares. So, yeah, so that's, but yeah, we do our best to have your guys' work patrol method in the way that they're sleeping, the way they have that table, so that it's kind of a place where they can get together and work on their stuff and things like that.
Any questions on any of that? Okay. Once your troop is checked in, gone through all the paperwork, done swim checks if needed, your backcountry guide will also give you a small tour of camp, just the main section, like where the training post is, the most important thing. Where the campfire ring, dining hall, civil lodge, things like that. So it'll be a short tour. All right? Question?
Yeah, there's one more thing about swim checks. If you do your swim checks ahead of time, please make sure that the certification is brought to me on Sunday. I'll be at Parker Pool running swim checks, but I need to see that certification before we issue buddy bags.
All right, we're going to do a quick look at how the week is going to run. This schedule has changed slightly from the one that's currently in the leader's guide, but we will be getting that updated. We had a small change on the Wednesday schedule, but the rest of it is staying the same.
Question, with the campsites assignments and things like that, is there an honor troop system? Is there a gateway competition, anything like that going on this year?
There is Honor Troop and Honor Patrol. There's a sheet in the back of the leader's guide that explains all the rules for it and what you do. There's all kinds of things like campsite improvements, doing service projects, participating in programs, participating in skits.
But we should plan on bringing gateway supplies in.
You can if you would like to.
But
It falls into the land of campsite improvement. Part of that, we also have a top knot award, which is the top troop. That's based off of your score. Commissioner coming through inspecting your campsite, how much you've done in camp, how you participated, what improvements you've done, doing service projects.
what do they like to bring?
Yeah, we definitely encourage it. It's their home for the week, so we want them to make it their home. Within reason. So, Sunday, check-in once again starts at 1 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, we'll be doing a small leaders meeting. Just going to do some introductions, get you ready for the week, talk about what's going to be going on, any information you need to know about. Directly after that, we'll be doing colors up at the Beta Pal Fire Room. If you have troops, or if you have scouts that want to participate in flag ceremonies, we have lots of slots to sign up for throughout the week. So if your troop would like to, that is available. Directly after colors is dinner. And following that is our opening campfire where our staff puts on skits and songs for you, making fools of themselves for your entertainment. It's always a good time. Directly following that, we have a Cracker Barrel class check-in. Basically, it is we'll be printing out all the sign-up sheets that you guys did online. We'll go around and check in with the program areas, making sure you have the right scouts and the right program. And also, if you need to make any changes at that time, like say you had a scout come up, he did the swim check, but he didn't quite make it, and you had him sign up to take swimming merit badge, then you can make adjustments as you need to. Switching to a different merit badge or learn to swim or whatever change needs to be. Then throughout the entire week, we have lights out at 10 o'clock. Okay. As far as Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, the schedule doesn't change too much. We have water dogs at 6:30 in the morning. So you have some brave scouts who want to hop in the pool very early in the morning when the water's still nice and cold. Our aquatic accommodate you, have you come down and go through the program. It's a lot of fun. I've done it many times myself. It's kind of become a staple at our camp. Usually it ends up starting with beginning of the week. There's probably about 30, 40 scouts and leaders that show up. And then by Friday, there's usually at least half the camp there coming to do the program. Yes?
How many do they have to attend to make a patch? 3 before?
3.
Thank you.
And it's an honor system.
Okay. So if they have a class that conflicts with 1 in the morning, that's their morning, they don't make it. Right. Thank you.
Directly after Water Dogs, we will be doing colors. Once again, debate about firing. Leading right into breakfast. On Monday, there will be a fire drill. It's something we're required to do for each session. So we will be going through that. At the Leaders Meeting, we'll go a little bit, the Sunday morning, or Sunday afternoon Leaders Meeting, we'll go a little bit more into what's happening with fire drill, where you need to go, the routes you need to take from your campsite. So we'll go over that, whichever camp. And then from there, our area directors will actually take the scouts directly to the program areas and get them to where they the scope for the day. Each session is an hour and 15 minutes, with a 15-minute period for them to get to their next area. Our camp is, it's 2 miles from end to end, so it's pretty long. So you want to get the scouts lots of time to get from whatever area we need to get to.
Are they allowed to bring bikes?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just double check. Yes, bikes are allowed. They are required to wear helmets. If staff perceive them wearing bikes without helmets, they will stop them and ask them to walk. Online question.
Okay, so for morning colors, do boys need to be in class A or class B?
For morning colors, typically we do class B, and for evening colors, class A. So that they can go directly from breakfast to their first session and not have to worry about changing. To help scouts get up and down the hill, because if some of them may have crafts in at the bottom end and then need to go up the courses, which is at the very top end of the camp, we do have a hayride that runs up and down the hill. So it's a big, large flatbed truck we call Bubba. It has hay bales in it, and we have scouts sit in the back of it, and we slowly drive them up and back, and that runs during the 15-minute passing period. So basically, this need, as soon as they're out of class, they're going to catch that, they need to head right over and hop on. It usually takes about 3 to 4 minutes to get from one to the other. This doesn't usually take too long. It usually ends up taking about, doing about 2 trips every 15 minutes. So if your scouts do not want to walk up the hill or ride their bike, that's available. So first session starts at 9, second session starts at 10:30. At noon we have lunch, which is, you're not going to come, muster, and then head up there. You just come in, and whenever you get to the dining hall, just come right up, go through the line, and go sit down. It's first come, first serve. Whoever gets up there first. There's no getting mustered together first and then lining up. It's slow. Starting at 1:30, we have our third session, and 3 o'clock is fourth. Starting at 5 o'clock, we have what's called open session. That time is if a scout needs to drop into a program area to work on something that they're struggling in. We have staff in program areas to help them out. And if a scout wants to try out shooting rifles, it's an opportunity for them to do that. Same thing with archery. If there's scouts that just want to go for a swim to go cool off, the pool is available. Are you doing open boats for an open session?
Tentatively, yes.
Typically, we do have canoes available during open sessions. You have a couple scouts who want to take a boat out and do some laps around the island. Fishing is also available. It's kind of just a free time for them. They've just spent a big chunk of the day in classes, learning about all kinds of fun stuff, and then this is kind of their time to cool off and relax before we get into the evening activities. 6 o'clock, we'll all gather together for colors. We do ask that you wear your Class A uniform or field uniform, depending on who you're talking to. For that, once again, your scouts can sign up to do those colors if they would like to. Then we go right into dinner. And then right after dinner, we 10-year Scoutmaster. The Scouts love it. They will cheer you on. They will be so excited for you to see you go out there and represent your troop and making the biggest cannonball you possibly can. The kids go crazy for it, so I highly encourage you to participate. And I'm having a lot of fun. Monday night we also have what's called Star Stooges and S'mores hike. Basically, it's a astronomy hike where we're going out on a hike that if you're in Strawberry Mirror Badge, I encourage you to go. We'll do some stargazing. We'll also be showing some classic Stooge movies, Three Stooges movies. And we also serve s'mores drink. So if you have a scout as a sweet tooth, this is a great way to go. All right. Tuesday, we have our Scouts home up at the fire ring. And then directly right after that, we have 2 hikes a day. We have Devil's Throne, which is, we have scouts who are really big into hiking and don't like super scary stories. That's the good one to go on. It's a little bit of an easier hike. The story is not as intense. And then we have our famous Trainer's Grave story, which if you haven't heard it, it is an amazing story, super scary. It's a little bit of a longer hike, but it's well worth it. It's put on by a couple of our staff members. They dress up with the theme. It's really well put together. Some of the stories we're famous for. So if you're up to it and you like a good ghost story, I encourage you to go on that. I'm going to skip Wednesday for the moment. Thursday night is Campers Night. I'm going to be meeting with all of your SPLs that in your campsite, you guys are going to do your own campfire. You guys will put on your own skits, your own song, do a night of just being together as a troop and doing some activities. The last area, we're not allowed to do fires at camp at the moment, but it won't stop you from putting a lantern in the middle of a circle and doing some activities together. Okay? Friday nights. Friday, our open session is actually closed. Most areas will be closing up so they can try to get all the blue cards done. It actually takes quite a while to try to get all of them signed. It's one scout, that's 4 blue cards each, and then spread that over 300 scouts, adds up. It's a lot of signatures.
A lot of blue cards all over now.
It's a lot of blue cards all over the place. So most program areas are going to be closing up so that the staff can get those merit badge cards done for you in a timely manner. So during that time, it's a good time for your scouts to start cleaning up their campsite, getting things packed up, ready to go for either leaving that night or the next morning. Directly after dinner, we have, it's called Blue Card Party, which will be at Silver Lodge. That's when we'll go ahead and send a troop leader up to Silva, and we'll have a packet ready for you with all of your blue cards, patches, and information. That's a good time for you to go through, double check, see what's there. If you had a blue card that you assume the scout got it and it shows a partial, you can talk with the area directors, figure out what happened, what they were missing, where they were struggling at. Yes, sir.
Do you want them to come up with blue cards signed off by the Scoutmaster, or should that just happen at the counselor will handle that? What would you prefer?
For blue cards, we're actually going to cover this later, but I can go and talk about it now.
Okay.
The blue cards, your scout should show up with the blue card signed by the Scoutmaster
Okay.
on Monday, so on the first day. So you want to make sure your scouts have it.
Thank you.
And then just right after the blue card party, once we try to get all the merit badge cards out, usually sometimes carries over a little bit into the closing campfire. But then we have our closing campfire. We give out awards, pointing out the special scouts who have done amazing things, the leaders who have done amazing things for us. We do some songs, some skits, and then we part ways. All right. Any questions on the week besides Wednesday? Pretty straightforward. Okay. Yes, sir.
Will there be family camping on Friday night again this year?
Yes. If you have parents or siblings that want to come up, we always allow them to come up on Friday night. They'll want to pay for, if they're going to do dinner, they'll pay for a meal ticket at the training post. And then they'll have to bring up their own tents, and we ask that you please do not make brand new campsites. Try to find spaces within your campsite set up for tents. Wednesday. Wednesday is kind of our break day. This is the day where we do some different activities. We get out of the classroom, and we kind of just have some fun with the scouts and the leaders. This day that we cover, we're going on glider rides. This is the day that we go out to do that. This is a great day that if your troop isn't from San Diego area, great day to get out of camp and go try something like San Diego Safari Park. Now, people want to call it Wild Animal Park. You can go check out the Safari Park, which isn't far from us. Julian is a great place to go check out. If you're up for a little bit further of a drive, you can come right down here to San Diego and have SeaWorld. There's also a lot of great boating activities out in this area as well. It's basically a day if you guys choose that. If you're not from this area, you want to get out of camp and go try something, great opportunity to do. Okay? So, first thing in the morning, those who are part of the climbing program will let you hike out to the Fun House, which is our natural rock site, and do some climbing out there. We'll be offering our triathlon, which is basically it's a free event of biking, running, and swimming. You can send a representative from your troop to be the person who's going to do that. Typically we do the team events. In the past we have done Ironman version. If you have a scout who really wants to do it. But it's a tough one. So typically we split into a team. And we ask that you only send one team from each troop. We don't have quite enough room for everyone to do it. We also have camp activities that will be going on. Also a great time for your trip excursions. This is the one thing that's really changed in our schedule from the Leaders Guide. This just changed, so this will be going out to you guys. We moved our big old barbecue out to lunch to give a little bit more time with the Ruggados. So it's not quite so rushed trying to feed all these kids really fast and then shove them out into the program areas before the sun goes down. So we're moving it back a little bit to get a little bit more time. So basically, all of our activities will go right into lunch. We'll be doing the barbecue down at Silver Lodge, where scouts will come up and we'll get some grub, hang out, listen to some music. There'll be a couple activities available. But it's kind of just a chance for scouts to hang out and spend some time together in a different area than just a battle. After that, we'll have some program areas open. If you have scouts who want to go swimming or want to go try their hand over at shooting rifles or archery. From there, we'll go into our dragon boats, which if you haven't done dragon boats, it's a lot of fun. Basically, it is a boat made out of cardboard and duct tape. We will provide you one roll of duct tape and whatever cardboard you can pull from behind the dining hall. If you'd like to bring up your own materials, you're welcome, but the stipulation is cardboard, normal cardboard. Please not go out and buy the super industrial grade cardboard. We're all the same. We want to keep it fair. We actually had a troop do that once. They bought this super industrial grade waterproof cardboard, and they got all the troops across the lake and back, and they didn't even get them wet at all. It's pretty amazing. So once again, we'll provide you one roll of duct tape, and then whatever cardboard you want to pull from behind the dining hall. We usually have quite a bit, because we go through a lot of boxes. Or if you want to bring up some materials of your own, you're welcome to. Basically, you're going to pile in your scouts into their self-made boats. We're going to try to get the boat across the lake and back under their own power without it sinking. Once again, it's a lot of fun. Scouts have a good time with it, especially when they get to build the boat. They come up with these really cool, wacky designs that have no chance of actually floating, but they look really cool. And they just have a blast with it, so we encourage you guys to participate in that. From dragon boats, we're going to go right into our Ruggados, which is a little different from previous years. Now, Ruggados, if you don't know what those are, it's rugged overnighters, and basically it's a tradition that's been in this camp for a very long time. The scouts will actually go participate in a special evening program, different program areas. They'll stay the night in those areas instead of going back to their campsites. What this means to you is that you get the night off. Or will you get the night without having 10, 30, 50 kids in your campsite keeping you up. You get to take a little bit of a break. What we ask for that is that they bring a sleeping bag, bottled water, and then if you have a group of kids going, have them bring a tarp with them so they can lay it on the ground and lay on that.
Good question.
Do you mind if we have an adult beer that wants to go on that, is there a way for them to participate?
Yes, yes. If you have leaders who want to participate in the recognize, they're more than welcome to participate.
Your line about may be required for merit badges, you want to touch on that? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Now, with recognize, some programs do require it as part of the merit badge. Because there's some extra requirements where they need some extra time to be able to finish that. Wilderness survival is one of them, where they need some extra time to do those things. Astronomy is another one. If you look on the Leader's Guide, as you're looking through the merit badges, there'll be a list of which where they need to be in those ones.
So that means if Scouts wants to do wilderness survival and astronomy, because one is the overnight for this part and the other is the night star hike that we do, they will leave with a partial with one or the other because they can't complete both in the way that that's designed. So we do our best to make you aware of that. I think the system actually won't let you sign up for them. We set them up as conflicts. But if you go ahead and go, why can't I sign this person up for these two merit badges? That's because they're actually going to overlap on the Wednesday night generally.
And this is where really reading the Leader's Guide is really important. Going through and seeing what the requirements are. It's appropriate for Scout, not overloading them where there's too many requirements where they can't get through everything.
And if you can't find the answer, call, email, we'll help you.
This is a list of all the recognize we have offered. Scouts can go to any of them if they would like to go to, but if there is one that they need to go to for merit badge, we encourage them to go to that. Any questions?
What's wrong with that?
You guys still, quick question,
Yes.
I've heard this rumor in the past, campfire graveyard, overnight, I've heard Magway in the past done something like that.
In the past, it's been part of the crafts regano, is that at the tail end of their program, they'll hike down to the Indian graveyard and do a story down there and sleep next to the graveyard. I don't think in the current years they've done it. Not sure about this year if that's been planned or not. I don't think so. We've kind of been trying to stay away from that area.
We've actually tried to de-emphasize the fact that those of you who don't know, at Magway Scout Ranch, there is a graveyard that is a known Indian graveyard. The local tribes still actually come take care of it. We have fenced off so that to keep people out of it. Our rangers don't even go in there. They go in there to put out a fire, and that's about it. And so we really don't want the Scouts to know that it's there, let alone. So they're not trying to scare each other who can go down here and, dance on somebody's grave or whatever. It's just not. So we de-emphasize that in our program.
Now, so while your Scouts are all out, having a great time with their staff overnight in program areas, we have a special evening for you guys. It's called the Rugged Eye. It's for adult leaders only. It's an activity. We'll have you guys up at the Silver Lodge. We'll have some special activities for you guys. We'll do some trainings, some special snacks for you as well. We usually always end up watching some sort of movie. It's kind of your night to just kind of relax, take a breath, know that our staff is taking care of your Scouts and making sure they're safe. So, okay, it's kind of a break for you guys. Any questions on recognize?
We want to touch on what happens next month.
Okay. The next morning, Scouts will actually be taken up to the dining hall with the staff. Where we'll have breakfast up there. And that morning we have a special breakfast just for you guys. This is a thank you for spending your week out here with the Scouts. Once again, in today's, I wish, but in today's day and age, it's really hard to get vacation time. I know just as well as anybody. So for a lot of you, it's going to be that week is your vacation week. You're choosing to take that time with the Scouts, which I know is a big, I don't want to call it a burden. I feel like thank you. To do, and we really appreciate it, so we want to thank you for just spending the time with us and with the Scouts, with the special breakfast. It includes some steak and eggs. Online question.
Can leaders go on rugged O's?
Yes, they can. Leaders can go on rugged O's if they would like to. It's up to them. So during that breakfast, we'll also, we should have our Scout executive, Carl, will be coming up as well to talk to you guys about your week, how you felt things went, any thoughts you had, any improvements. We're always looking to make things better, make things, just take it up that extra notch that we're always going for that wow factor. So that'd be a great time to go over all of those things.
Don't wait for Carl. I'm in camp for you, okay? So.
I may have missed it. Is there any kind of, I know they do like a Wild West Wednesday is what it's called, but is there any kind of thing we should plan for like bringing up a Hawaiian shirt? Any extras
Wednesdays
like that?
it was usually a Wild West Wednesday. That's what it's called because it's a break from our week. In the past, we've done Hawaiian shirts. This year, we're trying to stick more to our camp theme of that you're a scout ranch. Sticking more to the ranch things. So if you have scouts who bring out cowboy hats or anything like that, we encourage them to wear that.
Western shirt and jeans.
Yeah. Bandanas. Yes, sir.
A question for the commissioner.
Yes.
I know that it's part of your job to make sure the camp is clean, tidy, typos, whatnot. Do you ever seek any assistance from scout leaders who have nothing better to do?
I'm always looking for volunteers to learn to take my job. Okay, so that being said, I also look for leaders that are looking for another look at another campsite or another troop. So I'll ask for volunteers, hey, you want to go with me to go to this campsite and talk to these guys? Because you're going to get a different view
But there's
how
no,
you do things.
there's no camp inspections done,
Oh,
campsite inspections.
there are.
So you're not looking for any volunteers to do that?
All the time.
We cover that Sunday afternoon.
No, we'll cover that, but I'm always looking for volunteers.
Actually, that brings up a great point. This week for leaders, it's what you make it. If you have a certain background and a certain merit badge, and we're teaching it, and you want to help out with it, we're more than welcome to have you come over into our program and help out. If there's a merit badge that you're an expert in, you actually want to teach it that week, and we're not teaching it. You feel like we can complete it during that week. You're more than happy to teach it. If you want to help out around camp with any kind of improvements or fixing things, or if you just help the commission with doing campsite inspections, we're always looking for help. We'll take as much as you're willing to offer. I'll say it that way. Yes, sir.
Are you guys going to talk about what adult training might be available?
Yes, in just a few moments. Also during the week, we do have trainings available that we'll go over in just a few minutes. Any questions on rugged O's that I can answer? I'm just going to brush over this real fast because it's really hard to read.
But it's our Leaders Day.
I tried to make it as big as possible, but it didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. In the Leaders Guide, there is a schedule of what merit badges are offered when. Please take a look at this. Have your scouts take a look at this, see what they're interested in, see what they want to do. But please direct them into what's going to be the best fit for them. If you have a scout who's 75 pounds and you'd fall over, shotgun's probably not the best thing for them. So we always want to make sure a scout is set up to succeed, not to fail. Okay? So please be that sounding board. Maybe this isn't the best program for you, but hey, take a look at this. Please read the details of these programs of what it takes and what it requires. Some merit badges do require you to be a certain age, some activities require you to be a certain age. Please take a look at those. Okay? Any questions on programs?
So you're saying 4 merit badges each, that's basically what the boys can sign up for?
Yeah, we typically say 4.
4 sessions, but some of those are tracks. So some of the tracks, what are you talking about?
Okay.
Tracks.
Now with some of our programs, it's not just teaching one merit badge, like it's just woodworking. We have programs let's see, if I can actually say that. Some products, great one. It's a crafts one where we're covering 2 merit badges at once, because the requirements, we've noticed, cross into each other. So that like this merit badge and this merit badge both have the same requirement, so why don't we just go ahead and cover them? Okay, so it's possible to take 4 sessions and walk away from more merit badges than what's required. It's more merit badges than what the number is, but it's part of this track programs, which is something we started about 5 years ago? 4 or 5 years ago. It's a great opportunity to really, if there's a certain subject that they're really interested in, there's multiple merit badges to cover that section. Lets them a chance to really dive in and get into the meat of it.
Yeah, that means some of those are like 2 badges in a single session, and some of those will be 3 in a double session. The beauty of a double session, there isn't a loss of time. They're usually, the projects are much more effective. There's a higher retention. So they'll pick up, like the CD order.
Conversation, observation core, where they would cover forestry, plant science, soil water conservation. It's a double session. But in that time, they'd be covering 3 merit badges. So they could walk away with more than what the 4 sessions.
Inventor skills is one of probably our single most popular track. Sells out all the time. Robotics, we have Lego robotics kits that they build and compete with. Engineering and inventing. They all go together nicely, so there's some overlap inside of the requirements, and so they're very popular inside of it. The others, like the order track, public speaking and communication all gets finished inside one, because so many of the public speaking requirements really just fit into communication. If you pick which of your communication requirements you do that way. So that just fits in one, and they'll leave with 2 badges from one session. Yeah. So and you can go through Fire
There's a
Academy.
bunch of them. Fire Academy. There's Adventure Scale, Final Frontiersman. The list goes on and on. Once again, it's a great opportunity for your scouts. If there's a certain subject that they're really into, they want to work on a bunch of merit badges at once. It's a great opportunity.
So is there going to be some time when we know that the leader's guide is finished, or like, because you said there were some edits coming, like
Minor.
Okay.
Minor things, like on the schedule we moved the meal up earlier, but not. And if
nothing will be taken
away, if we discover that something is totally blowing out and we can reasonably add a session during a week, if just everybody wanted something and we completely filled it, then we'll do our best to reallocate resources and say, we need more Pathfinders. Everybody's a first-year scout. All right, we're going to find more staff. We'll shut down something that nobody signed up for, and then we'll update and we'll offer more Pathfinder space. Or we'll bring something in. But anything that is in the Leader's Guide now is a program you can count on having there. At bare minimum, if anything, there may be some extras put in.
Once again, it's just going to be minor changes. Shifting the schedule or adding. Blue cards are preparing for sessions. Big thing that we need to stress with everyone. Scouts need to bring a blue card on the first day and needs to be sent by you, the leader. It's very important. That signature is saying, yes, I am saying the scout can go and take that merit position. It's an important signature. Okay? So please have that prepared and ready for them. If you like, trust your scouts, and you know that they're going to lose it between the tent and the craft shack. Feel free to drop by with them and just hand them to the area director. They'll hold on to those cards for the entire week, and then once again, you'll get them back to the blue card part. Whether or not they walked around or crumpled in pockets or going in the swimming pool, they'll be safe. I can't stress enough, please read the class outlines. There's some very good information in there. If there's any costs involved or any special requirements that you want the scouts to try to meet beforehand, prereqs, like ATVs, there's some age requirements. Wood carving, there's the totem chip, we want them to show up with the totem chip. Please read those requirements and make sure the scouts are prepared for those things. Any questions on that? Yes, sir.
And you do mean physical card, not just a patch.
The physical card, the blue card.
No, I meant for token chip. And
Oh, for totem chip. either the card or a note from the union leader saying yes, they've completed.
Something in writing, not just a packet.
Let me touch on the ATV, because for clarity, we tried to make it clear in the book. ATVs are available for 14 and up. The 14 and 15-year-olds will must ride our smaller 90cc machines, which are still a blast. They do have some physical limitations, though. We cannot put anybody on those machines that is so tall they can't amply move them. So basically, if you're breaking 6'2" or 6'3", you're probably too tall. And their weight capacity is, I think, 180 pounds. So if you have, what's that? 170. So if you have a 14-year-old, and I know a 14-year-old, when I was 14, I would have blown over that number. Once you're 16, you can ride our 250s, and the 250s have a 386 weight pound capacity, and they have enough knee room that probably if you're short of 8 foot, you're going to be okay to fit those. So far in the few years we've been running this, we've only had to turn away one kid who was he got on the machine, and he was just too big, his knees, his weight, he just didn't fit. Be aware that can happen, and we absolutely cannot violate the guidelines and stick the bigger person on the 250. Those are just absolutely our standards, and they must be 14 birthday before we put them on. He graduated. It's going to be 14 this summer.
No parent wants
Don't son. Or none. 14 birthday done. We are counting on you to help us police that. We're not asking for ID because they don't carry them at that age. But if they're not 14, please don't put them in that program.
You want to cover training?
I'll do training, sir. I'll do training. Is it that? Okay. So there are 3 trainings that we absolutely plan on offering every week for adults. That is the leader-specific training, BLST, BSLT. It used to be the Scoutmaster, Assistant Scoutmaster used to be, but basic unit leader, and then Introduction to Outdoor Leadership Training, which is the one that's the camping overnight one. And then you can do anything else online and become fully trained as a leader. The other one are what is called aquatic paddle craft, aquatic supervision, and that is above a paddle safety afloat safety. Why don't you talk a little about that class?
Sure. Back up just a half step.
Okay.
Safety afloat and safe swim defense. Both of those trainings are required of leaders that are going to take their scouts on a trip to the beach, a trip to the lake, whatever, so that you understand and can implement the scouting way of safely running these kinds of activities. Beyond that is aquatic supervision. There's 2 tracks. One is swimming and water safety. The other one, and if I think I have that right, the other one is paddle sports, meaning canoes, kayaks, etc. We will be offering those, and each one of them takes 2 days. So basically Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday is it. And I will be your instructor.
So and just so you know, one half of those are very important. So those of you who are brand new leaders or have brand new leaders coming with you, that you want to have trained, that basic leader class and introduction to outdoor leadership training covers anything else that they can't do online to be considered trained. But the aquatics, the other 2 classes, I always get their names, but the classes that Art just described have to be taught by a CAM school certified director. There are only a few of those out there, so this is not something that you can just go, oh yeah, I'll just pick it up next month at some training. They're one that's well worth making sure you take the opportunity to do. Yes?
Last year I took advantage of the awesome classes that you taught, had a great time. But I was also able to do ILST in the morning and then did your classes for the rest of the day. What time, what's the time frame that you're
We'll
doing?
probably do pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
It'll be a little more open. I will be able to play with the schedule a little more this year. My staff this year is more awesome than they were last year. So it gives me more time to have a higher comfort level, to be able to work with all the adults. And it is a lot of fun. You get in the pool, you get to do what the scouts do. So you're gonna be rescuing, you're gonna be flipping canoes, you're gonna be doing all that kind of stuff.
I'll also say of all the training I did last year, the only thing I received certificates for were the classes I took with you. And I know you had your hands double full with taking care of all the boys and their blue cards, so, bravo.
When do you need to sign up for that?
Sunday when you
Okay, it doesn't have to be done before.
The adult trainings, we'll handle that on Sunday. If there's just nobody that needs a training or something, we're not going to run it. If there's another training that you would like to touch on and we're not running something else, let us know. Either we may have a staff member that can handle it. Chuck can do a reach out to somebody, bring out somebody from our climbing team because you'd rather do a live climb on safely than do the online stuff. Or we can also reach out. We've got a pretty deep pool of wonderful volunteers in this council, and some of them will say, "Sure, I'll come up on Thursday morning and I'll teach that." But we won't know you want it if you don't go see Chuck. If you leave, so yes.
Are you going to cover the schedule for BLST? What is the schedule for BLST during the week?
That will set up, once you go on Sunday, we'll see what the interest is, and we'll
Okay.
schedule based
Okay.
on the interest.
Roughly how many hours, or do you know?
Off the top of my head, I don't.
Okay.
So the BLST is total of about 4 to 6, depending on how many people
Gotcha.
are there. If a small group, you go through it generally a whole lot faster. So. All right. I guess we're to questions. Other questions that you have?
With regard to that, we have a lot of new parents coming into our trip right now. It would be a great opportunity for them to take that training, but they're only available to come out, say, 2 days. How do they know what 2 days come out if we don't know?
If you let us know that they want this training, so we can try to make arrangements for days that they are there. Set it up. Once again, this council has so many volunteers that have such a wealth of knowledge and certifications through trainings. We can pull off those things. So if you let us know when you guys get up there, we can make the appropriate.
So we need to make plans ahead of getting up there, so they know what days.
If you have something,
Like if you're coming out Monday, Tuesday.
if you have something specific that you want to do something with, and you've got somebody, send an email to us saying, "Can you accommodate this?" And we will figure it out and we'll let you know. Is there a question online?
Yeah. Can you go over Monday check-ins?
Oh, Monday check-ins.
Monday check-ins. I'm sorry, I skipped right over that. My mistake. Monday check-in. If you were checking in on Monday, we're asking you to be up at camp at 6 a.m. You're going to meet us at Silva Lodge, which in the Leaders Guide there's a camp map. If you look at that, it'll show you exactly where to go. We'll take care of all your paperwork there. You do the swim check. We'll walk in the pool right then and take care of it. And then we also need your backcountry guide at that time. We'll get you over to the campsite. There won't be the official tour. There's not quite enough time. By the time you unload your vehicle, get in your campsite, do swim check if you need to, get all your paperwork done, it's time for breakfast. So the only disadvantage to doing Monday check-in is they won't be able to do the tour, but everything else will get covered. We ask you to be there at 6 a.m. so we can get everything done. Any other questions I can answer for you guys? I know Chuck brought up one thing. With Rugged-O's, I encourage you to try to get all your boys out of the program areas, because if some do stay back at the campsite, we need to make sure that you still have the ratios at the campsite. So if you were planning on going and helping out at
Some other camps, like Lost Valley, have offered individual patches for those types of events. Is that similar to MSR? Are you going to do that?
Yes.
We have the whole collection of regular patches.
Okay, so that's another selling point to maybe put out there for the scouts. Thank you.
Online question.
When will batch signs be available?
May 15th. And Sue will be sending out all the information for that, how to get logged in, what to do, what time it starts. She'll be sending you all that information to your unit.
Medical forms. A, B, and C, or just A and B?
A, B, and C.
It's a week long camp, so
If you have an adult who's going to come for one night, we ask them to do the hand-filled out AB. They don't have to go see a doctor. BSA standard is if somebody's spending 72 hours in camp or more, we need the full physical. And that basically means, so we basically say, if you're staying one night, just give us the AB so that we know what we need to do. If you're spending 2 nights, we want the whole thing. So, and we please have them bring that. Anybody who wants to visit, if you have troops, families, etc., that want to visit during the week, they are welcome to do so. They need to check in at the headquarters as soon as they come, so we know they're there. We get the wristband. We get them connected to you because they may not know where you would be. They probably won't. So let us help them. And if they find you first, please bring them to us so that we know that they're there. It's important, all those fire emergency numbers, you just never know when you're going to need to know how many bodies are in camp, and then kids aren't yelling stranger danger as somebody walks through. So the wristbands are the appropriate part, because lots of people, you can go buy one of these at the thrift store, you can wear a uniform, but the wristbands are really the thing that says this person has been checked into camp, and you will all get one when you come into camp, and that'll be the indicator. I also want to remind you, some of you have been doing this for years, and you know this, but this is really, we are a boy-led program. That doesn't mean we're boy-run. It doesn't mean they don't run on top of us, but it's boy-led. So please, take the opportunity to take that step back and let your youth take their leadership. We've got SBL leaders. We're going to empower them the best we can to do this. But if you're not being on the inside, supporting them doing that, then it's not going to be successful. If you've got a good, comfortable chair and a book, and you manage to spend most of your time in the campsite reading and just kind of, we know you're going to go check on them in their sites, but you can count that as a very successful week of camp. So, was there a question online?
Yeah. Do family campers need medical forms?
If they are just coming for Friday night, we would like them to fill out just that basic information. Just enough. The bottom line is, I want enough that if they got hurt, my medic can look at to them because they can't talk, or I can hand it to an ambulance driver. Just enough to do that, but they don't need to go to the doctor, get the full physical. We're not putting them through that strenuous time. So, yeah.
And then one more. So we have an adult participant who's not a former Boy Scout and he needs adult training. What is his appropriate t-shirt? He doesn't have a Class A. What should he wear?
What should he does not have a field uniform. He can wear any type of normal camping attire. We just ask that, any shirts and stuff like that are appropriate. We don't need beer hats running around camp. With t-shirts and things like that. Of course, my number one answer would be help him get a uniform. It's a good thing. It sets the models well for the scouts. Even if he just buys a shirt, I can't believe I said that because I'm a full uniform guy, but even if he just buys a shirt, it would be a good thing for the scouts to see that adult saying, this is an important part of the program.
And then can you go over the URL website for where we sign up and where we get this PowerPoint?
The same email system that we sent your notice of this thing, we're gonna, once we post this PowerPoint and the video. We will put those all out and send them out to you via that same, and they will be posted on the summer camp page for Mattaway Honor Council website, where you get the Leaders Guide. Yeah.
What about, there's a 3-week program for the youth where they do a work type program?
Okay, sure. So that's our counselor training program. It's a program that we're actually very excited about. We offer it at both of our camps here, and it came about because we actually started looking at the traditional CIT, that counselor and training model, and we noticed that scouts that were being asked to spend 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks of their summer in camp, I hate to call it, but almost slave-like, conditions. They are the bottom of the barrel. They are treated as trash, and that is the history of CITs. Was you and everybody who's been to CIT is going, it's like, get me this, do that. And we started looking at our CITs, and we saw that, week 1 they were so gung-ho. By week 3, their light was getting just a little tired and dim. And by week 6, they were burned out. There was just no life in them. And the ones that came back usually came back with a vendetta to take it out on the next kid that was coming the year behind. I mean, it was like, how tough I had it? Well, you're going to have it just as bad. And we said, this has got to go. And CITs they're not just a scouting thing. I mean, there are songs about CITs if you go online. I swear Baden Powell probably had them in Brown Sea Island. And we just said, no, we've got to change what we do. So we've created a counselor trainee program. We don't call them CITs, we just call them counselor trainees. It's a 3-week program, which we found is a very nice length of time for a 14, 15-year-old to spend away from home. It is the same cost as going to 1 week of summer camp. They do pay to participate, but it's the same cost. And they basically spend half the time learning how to be a staff member and with increasing responsibilities. So yes, in week 1 there is a little bit of go fetch the water and fill this and do that and observe how things are being taught. They have some unique trainings for themselves. By the 3rd week, they're kind of student teaching, and there's a counselor in there, but they're taking the opportunity to teach the lessons. They're getting that experience of working the group. So that's half the day. The other half of the day, they get to take merit badges. So they can sign up for any type of activity that any other camper can sign up for. So, and if they happen to be teaching or assisting in a badge that they don't have, if they also do the work, they can get that merit badge too. So what we find is the average counselor trainee gets 3 merit badges a week on average. They learn how to what it's like to be a staff member. They've given increased responsibility. So they'll leave with 9, 10 merit badges, a good experience, and still enough time to go on the troops Philmont trek, or go to that family vacation, or just play Xbox and at home and have a summer vacation. I mean, let's face it. We had one kid who begged. We had one scout here who begged me to be fired from being a CIT. Begged me to be fired. I'm like, just quit. And this was the big catalyst for this. I said, just quit. And I said, no, I need to be fired. Fire me. I'm like, there's no unemployment. You just say I'm leaving. I'm like, what do you want? And he's like, I want to be fired. Fine, you're fired. Call your mom. And when I heard mom on the phone, I figured out the problem. Mom was convincing him that he had to stay. He wanted a little bit of a summer vacation. He needed a break. And that's when we really started digging out that process, and we went, wait a minute, we really are doing these scouts a disservice. 3 weeks, they're dying to come back. They're excited about what they're doing. Or they have figured out staff is just not for me. I've had my chance. And so it's been very popular, very beneficial. And so we run it at both of our camps, and we encourage encourage 14, and 2 years in a row is a great thing, 14 and 15-year-olds. We're strong supporters of NYLT. We love NYLT, the National Youth Leadership Training Program. It's like Wood Badge for Kids, if you're not familiar with it. And it is, they're very similar curriculums. If you have a scout who has already completed NYLT before they come do the counselor trainee program, we will reimburse basically 50% of an NYLT cost, about $125 back if they successfully complete the 3 weeks. If they come back the next year and do another 3 week, we'll give them another $125. So they will have paid us for 2 weeks of camp, but may have actually, if their kid went to NYLT, they may have gotten $250 back, because we believe that that's a really great training ground for the people we want on our staff is NYLT. So it's kind of an incentive for us to get scouts to go to that and then come be a part of because a lot of what we try to teach on builds on the NYLT stuff that we're teaching the scouts there. So, but it's not a prerequisite.
Is there a limited number of positions for the counselor training?
We have, we designed the program to be about a dozen. We can do a little bit more, but at a dozen, we find it's a very healthy program. We've done 18 and more. So it's an online registration. Parents can go on, sign themselves up. However, they are required to have a scoutmaster, a unit leader, say this is a good next step for this scout. So this is not just the parents' way to get rid of their kid for 3 weeks, because we've had that too. Okay, I'm serious. At NYLT we require a scoutmaster to say this is the right kind of kid that should go to this leadership training. That's the same thing we want. We want a scoutmaster that says this is the kind of kid that'll make a good staffer someday. You should have him in the program, because if the scoutmaster doesn't think he's got a future, or she, because it's venturing, so we do young men and young women at this, so we take venturing girls. If the scoutmaster or a crew advisor doesn't think that, we're going to trust that leader to have that insight. And so we do request that endorsement. So, any other questions about that or anything else? All right, any other comments from around the room?
I just want to thank you guys for coming out. We really appreciate it. We're really looking forward to the summer.
I will echo that. We are looking for it. I will tell you that this is I've lost track. We're the 5th summer in my role here at the council. I don't think I've been as excited about a staff and a program as I am about what we have in store for you guys. So I think you're going to have a tremendous year. And again, we thank you for sticking madly. We thank you for serving these scouts, and we thank you for coming and spending your time with us. And we'll be around here to answer any other questions. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.